Okay, everybody, let's listen to group three, and you may begin.
Hello, mates, and welcome to Foods from Around the World. I'm your host, the Food Hunter. All right. So first, we're going to be traveling around the world from the Americas to the European nations. We're going to start off from the beautiful island of Jamaica with Shalane. Then we'll go to the Highlands of Scotland with Michaela. Then it's on to the Italian nation with Jessica. And finally, Germany with dishes from Nicole. And no, there will be no beer on this trip. Without further ado, Jamaica.
Good morning, everyone. I'm from Jamaica. I'm Shalane. I'm going to give you a little history about jerk chicken and how it was created and all that good stuff. Well, everyone think that Christopher Columbus discovered Jamaica, but he didn't. When he get there in the 1400s, there were already people living there. They were called the Arawak Indian. He slaved them, and consequently, they eventually died out little by little. And since he was in the slave trade, he brought over people from Africa. They were called the Maroons. He also, have them as slaves and all that bad stuff. But then eventually they escaped. They escaped and run away to the Blue Mountains, far up in the hills. That's where they hunt, kill, and preserve their meat, which mainly was like wild boar or fish, vegetables. They after killing and everything, they take their meats and wrap it in banana leaves with natural herbs and spices that they found around the woods. How they cook it, they wrap it in banana leaves, banana leaves, so they wrap it tightly so they can preserve it for long journeys, traveling across the island back and forth. They one way they cook it is to combine all the season and everything. They wrap it up and then they cook it over smoke, open flame or dig the herd and put it in there and let it simmer for a couple hours. That's pimento. It's a natural. It's like the main spice for jerk chicken, and they use the wood from the tree. It gives the meat this nice pimento nutty flavor, and of course, Scotch bonnet was like the most famous spice for the chicken. Nowadays, we get really fancy, so we don't have to use the natural, herbs and spices. It's kind of hard to find now. So they have farms and stuff where they put, all the spices together and they combine everything and pack it in a bottle. This is like the most famous one in Jamaica, and they got different ones. So how to make jerk chicken is that you can go to the supermarket, any supermarket, buy your fish, pork, vegetables, whatever meat kind you like, and marinate it. Take the seasoning. So everything is already combined. It depends on how hot you want it or spicy. Um, you can just take it, rub it all over the meat. Use a knife to poke holes in it, and use your finger and stuff the seasoning in it. Make sure it's well combined and packed and ready to go. Um, this is how you can do it. This is the fresh fruits and vegetables, your pork, your fish, your meat, and everything. That's a grill. In Jamaica, we use a metal, we call it a drum pan. We cut it in half, put the woods in it, the wood that you get from forest and everything, and drop the chicken from there. And this is exactly how we do it in Jamaica. So we take like a zinc, we call it zinc, and we throw it over the chicken and cook it for a couple hours. And I'm sure you will enjoy it. And I also have a nice video to show of, our little culture and everything of things that we enjoy back home. So right now I'm going to show you a video. of our beautiful island.
The imagery, the graphics, the music. Welcome to Jamaica.
Be alright. One love. Let's get together. Feel alright.
Well, as you can see, that's a little bit of our culture, and that's exactly what you will see when you go, to Jamaica. If you go like during the holiday, where everybody's jerking on the street side and going to the festival and the stage show and the whole excitement and the shebang. So that's exactly what you will see, and I'm sure you'll love it. And that's that's just a little bit of history of how, Jamaican, the jerk chicken was created. And, we step up now. Nowadays, everybody is doing it the easy way. I'm going to turn you over now to Michaela from Scotland. So enjoy, guys.
Hi everybody, I'm Michaela. I am Scottish heritage. I have Italian in me too, but growing up, my grandfather, he was very proud of our Scottish heritage. These are some kilts right here. The yellow kilt is actually a McLeod kilt. So I have my family has our own kilt. We have two different kilts. The yellow kilt is normally for everyday or funerals. This is my grandfather here wearing his kilt. The green kilt, this is me, my two brothers, my cousins. This is at my grandfather's wedding. So these are both McLeod clan kilts. Growing up, he was very proud. I went to his wedding in a kilt. We buried him in a kilt. I took Scottish dancing. The bagpipes were at both of these events. Used to do plays and stuff, and I was in the play Brigadoon, which is a Scottish play. So I've always been very in touch with my Scottish heritage. I've never been to Scotland, but my grandfather went and he brought me home a Scottish knot charm that went on my charm bracelet from the first day of class that I showed you. So I have that on there. Now in Scotland, they eat things like butterscotch, shortbread, and salmon. Smoked sausage wrapped in boiled eggs. The history of butterscotch is it's made by boiling water, brown sugar, butter, and cornstarch. So you boil it up and you pour it in a pan, you bake it for a little bit, take it out, it gets nice and hard, and you can break it into pieces. The pieces then become butterscotch candies that you eat, hard candy. There's two theories about how butterscotch came about, the name of it at least. One is the origin of Scotland, where it's from. Another is the original ingredient of scotch or scorched butter. So those are the two theories about how the name of butterscotch came about. Caramel and butterscotch are sometimes confused. A lot of people don't know the difference between the two of them. Well, the difference is butterscotch does not have milk product in it. I personally like butterscotch better, but that's up to you to decide. I think it has more flavor to it. So nowadays you can find butterscotch on ice cream toppings. I like to dip my cones in butterscotch. You can find it in the store, little pieces. You can find it in fancy desserts. Butterscotch is used in a lot of recipes nowadays. It was originally sold as a hard candy in little rich yellow droplets, individually wrapped in cellophane. You can find these in the store nowadays, almost any store, butterscotch candies. So they also make butterscotch chips used for baking and whatnot. Shortbread. The history of shortbread began back in medieval times with biscuit bread. Biscuit means twice cooked. So what they did was they took the leftover dough from making bread and they put it in a pan. They cooked it again and it got hard. that was called biscuit bread. Eventually, they removed the yeast and replaced it with butter, and it became shortbread. Shortbread was reserved for special occasions such as New Year's, Christmas, weddings. An old Scottish tradition was to break a slab of shortbread over the newlywed bride's head for good luck. So, growing up, I used to eat shortbread, the Werther shortbread you get in the store. When I became older, I learned how to make it myself. It's actually very easy and only takes about 30 minutes. So, when you mix shortbread with butterscotch, they called it the millionaire shortbread. It's very rich in flavor and very sweet. Shortbread is usually found in cookie cutter shapes or something they call fingers, which is long rectangular shapes. Now, I made butterscotch shortbread today. And what I did was I did 2.5 cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter, 2/3 cup of sugar. I added a little bit of brown sugar to give it that butterscotch flavor and butterscotch chips. You mix it all together and you press it into a greased pan. You cook it on 325 for 30 minutes. Now, as soon as it comes out of the oven, you slice it into fingers. I slice it into fingers. And then you let it cool in the pan. When it's done cooling, you can take it out and make little shortbread cookies. It's very tasty. Now, I did something a little bit different. I sprinkled sea salt on top, so it wasn't quite so sweet. It has a little bit of a sweet and salty flavor. Another thing that people in Scotland eat is smoked salmon. It's cured and filleted, usually served cold, sometimes with pasta, pâtés, quiches, sometimes on chips with cheese. So it's a delicacy because it's very high in price. People in Scotland eat a lot of seafood since it's surrounded by water. And I brought some smoked salmon in also for y'all to try. So little pieces because it is very high in price. But now I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, and she's going to bring us to Italy.
Oh, guys. I picked Italian food because my grandma is Italian, and so I've grown up on eating Italian foods. The national dish of Italy is pasta. They take their food very seriously, so they take lunch is their main meal. It starts with antipasti, which is olives, cheese, salami, and then they go to il primo, which is their first course of pasta. Il secondo is their main course, which includes fish, sorts of meats, and then they go to fruits. Fruits are desserts, and then finally they have espresso coffee. Pizza was invented in Naples, Italy, around the 1860s. They also have grapes, potatoes, sugar beets, soybeans, and grains. And also, I didn't know this, but ice cream cones also came from Italy. Also, they're known as pizzelles, which are little cookies. You can make them. Little facts. Italians eat 66 pounds of pasta each year and drink 60 liters of wine each year per person. There are 350 different types of pastas in the world. Italians eat about half a pound of bread a day. Meatballs are often eaten in Italy. And I made some meatballs. You can either pick ground beef, ground turkey, whatever you like. You can also make them with vegetables, just in case you're vegetarian. You can add any kind of spices to it, like oregano, basil. You can add cheese to them. Meatballs are often eaten as a main dish. They don't have to be just with spaghetti. You can make meatball subs. Now I'm going to pass it over to Nicole for German food.
chose German foods because I'm half German. The name Kruger, which is my maiden name, means tavern keepers, which is kind of ironic because my grandparents owned several taverns. Germany is ranked number 2 in alcohol consumption with 116 liters per person per year. Germany is an island full of culinary delights. It's located in the middle of Western Europe. It has over 82 million people living in Germany. German is the official language with dialects as varied as the regions and landscapes. Bread is a very important part of the German diet. They produce more varieties of bread than anybody else in the country. They have over 300 bread varieties and over 1,200 different rolls and baked goods. Pumpernickel is Germany's most famous bread. It's a rich, dark bread with 100% rye. It's often sold in small packs with pre-sliced bread. A whole grain rye, it's typically the type of bread you would find on many German tables. According to the law, whole grain bread must consist of at least 90% whole grain flour. Cheese. Germany has a long tradition of cheese making. It makes over 600 different types of cheese. The heart of German cheese making is in the Alpine region of southern Germany. Cheese has always been a large part of the German culture. When Berlin was blockaded by the Russian government in 1948, it was considered one of life's necessities, and 20,000 pounds was loaded onto the first of the Allied supply aircraft. In German homes, cheese still remains a major part of the traditional German breakfast and evening meals. German was the first ones to produce blue brie cheese in the 1970s. It ranges from mild to strong, but the most popular is mild. Washed rind cheese means red mold cheese. Sometimes referred to as the stickies and smellies because the smell is so pungent and the mold on the surface is very sticky. Most washed rind cheese was originally produced in monasteries. Since they're so time consuming to produce, therefore it suited the slower lifestyles of the monk. Meat. Liverwurst. Spicy cooked sausage made with a mixture of ground liver and pork seasoned with a range of spices and plenty of onions. It's one of the most popular sausages in Germany, most commonly used on sandwiches. However, it can be used with hot or cold recipes. Frankfurters. A long, thin sausage that is lightly smoked and made from pork, usually served with sauerkraut and a slice of bread. Germany established a law in 1860 that protects the Frankfurter. It says that only sausages made in Frankfurt or the surrounding suburbs can call it Frankfurter. Butchers outside the area must call it not Frankfurter art, meaning like Frankfurters, but not made in Frankfurt. And Black Forest ham. Black Forest ham is a preserved pork product traditionally made in the Black Forest region of Germany. To make it, they start by rubbing salt, pepper, garlic, an assortment of other spices. Then it's dry cured for 2 weeks. Then they take the salt off it and cure it for another 2 weeks. Then the ham is cold smoked over pine branches where it acquires a rich flavor and a dark red color. After the smoking, the meat is done.
All right, mate. Well, that's unfortunately all the time we have for today. If you would like to watch any of the other nations of the world, such as Europe, or a continuation of Europe, or to go to the other nations such as Asia, South America, Australia, Africa, you can purchase these new videos that we were developing for the low price of $9.99, which is basically $1,000. And or you can buy the package deal for $12,000. As for the rest of this, I have to say only one thing. Can ya dig it? Then dig in. Thank you.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what should we do first. Dig in. I guess Jeremiah's gonna make the decision for. Oh, that just kind of. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. And then once you make your plate, then we can critique you guys. Are you guys serving?
We're getting
Hey, some German food up there for you?
Hey, I'm fine. Yeah. Going through things.
You're just like, look, don't touch.
I don't want to. Say what? Huh?
Oh, wait.
Jay, why are you talking like that?
Talking like what?
That's a Jay, man.
We coming.
We have this thing called patience.
It's not that kind of stuff.
I'm trying. What?
Just gotta start throwing out those.
They are German hot dogs. I got them.
It's salmon.
Yes. I went to
This
Publix and I
invalidates
asked
that
them,
message.
"Do you have any french
It's a low price of $12,000. Worth it. Better than the original price, which was like basically $1,000 for just one. So it's like, I paid for one, and I got 12. I don't know.
Speed the line up, guys. Going so slow. My goodness. Look back here.
He's like, let's go.
I did not eat
Can I
breakfast.
get another,
I didn't either.
wait, yeah.
Can I get a free one?
Move, go, hurry, speed.
Jeez.
He's playing with it.
She wants a specific one.
She's playing with it.
No, it's not free.
Oh, that's not self-serve? Look at Derek.
What?
Walk through his chest out.
One job you have.
He was just trying to
You
get
get like occasional words where it's like, oh wait, First, I was just gonna talk to the regular actor. Nah, it's just shit. I was like, I took out the one spot.
Jerk chicken. Jerk chicken. You gotta smell it.
They're really good, by the way, that shortbread is yeah, they're fantastic. We tried some this morning.
coming that time.
Yeah.
Oh, did I even stop? Oh, I didn't even stop it.